We are starting the second game of the evening. We have Madison Roller Derby, the Herd, skating against Flint Roller Derby. We appreciate those teams coming from out of state. Madison's about 4 hours, depending on how fast you drive, 280 some miles away. Flint, Michigan, not sure when they came in, how they got here, but number 6 is Duncan. Duncan is your jammer, and that jam is over. All right, so we've got 2 new packs hitting the track right now. And Flint Roller Derby is about 700 miles away. We do have Dom Sawyer, 0. Felony Assault, number 14. Gigi Spitfire, 15. Tubi Frank, number 2. Ronnie V is 21. Tabby Cat, 23. 24 is Camouflage. 27, Hall & Oates. 35 is Glitterous. Number 4 is Slim Fast, also the captain of Flint Roller Derby. 44, Animaniac. 51 is Helen Wheels. 6, Duncan. 911 is K Cotton. 99 is Al Funky Ump. And their coach is Coach Cotton tonight. It looks like we have Dilemma jamming for the Herd, and Animaniac is the lead jammer for Flint Roller Derby. Score is currently 0-0, but Flint is looking to add some points to the board. Animaniac pushing up some tough Herd blockers. Nice rotation up front, recycling. Flint makes it through and puts the first points on the board for this 8 o'clock game. Shelby Cobra headed to the box, one of the blockers for Madison. We have some points on the board. It looks like Flint, Michigan, who is wearing white jerseys, has just put up 8 points. The Herd is currently at 0. Madison Roller Derby is wearing blue jerseys tonight. Number 101 is Quella DeVille. 1105 is Barrel Roller. 1337, Melee. 17 is Dilemma. 207 is Slam Chowda. 238, Radio Smective. 270 is Cyanide. 273, Crystal Ice. 31 is Lady Hoo-Ha. 427, Shelby Cobra. 402, Louisville Slugger. 5388 is Dark Horse. That is the captain for Madison. 672, LaMarche Madness. 7184 is Wolf Rammer. 800 is Bada Boom Box. And 8990 is Frankie Fatale. We have a few coachers here with the Herd, and that is Hello Sailor, Thrill Shoya, Lady Hoo-Ha, and Kentucky Fried Carnage. Barrel Roller up against Duncan. Barrel Roller from Madison. Duncan from Flint. Duncan pushing out against the last line of defense is called your lead jammer. Flint with another lead jammer status. Duncan sliding through those last 2 blockers in the back of the pack and then slipping through the middle and up front through the front 2 defenders, making it look easy with that agility. There is a star pass on Madison. We now have a 7184 Wolf Rammer with a star on her helmet, and that jam has been called off. The herd has been held to 0 points, with Flint Roller Derby currently at 18. And now we've got Radio Smacktive jamming for the herd and Animaniac for Flint. Animaniac getting past Bada Boom Box, and we are now seeing Slam Chowda heading to the box for Madison. Animaniac has called that jam off after picking up 4 points. Flint Jammer makes it out of the pack cleanly. And before the other jammer, so that is another lead jam status for Flint. That is Helen Wheels. Madison getting in a little bit of penalty trouble. Does have a short pack out there. Slam Chowder tries to prevent Hell on Wheels from getting through, but she makes it around that outside line. We do have Flint's captain Slim Fast headed to the box. Helen Wheels is knocked off the track, does have to re-enter behind any blockers that were ahead of her. And we are currently in a power jam for Flint. Duncan for Flint getting lead jam status once again. We've got a couple of Flint blockers heading to the box, making it a little bit easier for Madison's jammer Dilemma to get through and pick up points. Tabby Cat Knocks Dilemma off the track, draws her back, but Dilemma's back out there, takes that inside line for 4 more points. $15-point jam for Flint Roller Derby. 8-point jam for the herd. Dark Horse runs up that inside line, and this is a lead jam for the herd. Hoping to get some points and close that gap a bit. Flint defenders opening up that outside line. Animaniac taking that and sliding right through. And now Animaniac on that inside line, making it look easy, picking up points. Madison does call that jam off. Madison did pick up 8 points in that last jam, but Flint was able to get 12, and now Flint is getting lead jam status once again. Helen Wheels. We do have a star pass to La March Madness, and a penalty for one of the Flint skaters. La March Madness trying to get inside of that tripod up front. Both teams running these jams out a bit. The herd picked up 8 points on that jam. Flint picked up 12. It was a duplicate of what happened on the jam just prior. So we now have 27 points for the herd and 73 for Flint Roller Derby. Radio Smackta runs through, gets out of that pack. The herd looking to capitalize on their lead jam status, but running up against some tough Flint defense. We are doing that jammer do-si-do, a little switcheroo in the box. So we are currently in a power jam in favor of Flint. Duncan is jamming, has been picking up the majority of Flint points. Stays in bounds, turning backwards, forwards, runs out of there. Duncan really using all of that track. Some squeaking hockey stops and some good toe stop work, getting her through for more points. That jam has come to its natural conclusion, and the herd has picked up 6 points to Flint's 8 on that jam. Got a bit of a pile up right at that jammer line off the starting blocks. Animaniac is jamming again for Flint Roller Derby. Up against Dilemma of the herd. A Dilemma trying to squeeze through that tough wall. We've got a solid full pack holding Dilemma back right now. Bit of a mishap with that star pass, but the herd rectifies that situation. We have a no pass, no penalty, and we now have 672 with the star on her helmet. That is La March Madness. Both jammers on their scoring pass and coming around. That was an 8-8 jam. Flint is currently in the lead with 89 points. The herd is currently at 41. Dark Horse gets out of that pack first. Legally does so and picks up lead jammer status and is now scoring points. We have Helen Wheels jamming for Flint, and her blockers have cleared that inside line to help her get through. Dark Horse is calling off the jam. That was a 7-8 jam in favor of Flint on that one. The herd did have lead jam status, but Flint caught up and eked out an extra point. And barrel roller got out of the pack, but it's called for a penalty. So we have Duncan as the lead jammer in this power jam. We do have a timeout for Flint roller derby. Gives us an opportunity to thank the officials who are officiating this game. We have Josh, Aaron Burr, the Mad Statter, Buck Hustle, Devastator, Stumpador, Eggs Benedict, Sadie, I know, I'll come back to that. Night Trotter, Tyrion Lanniskor, Sadie Masochist, knew I'd mess that up, Alcoholic, General Relativity, Adam Splitter, Class Warfarin, Doesn't Matter, Nick Tater, F and Ref, Spike, and Dana, whose first part of their name is Dochtuir. Probably pronounced much more pretty than what I would say it out loud. So thank you, officials, for being here at our tournament. The herd is currently at 48 points. Flint at 101. They have passed that century mark and have more than twice the points that the herd does. We are looking at a little over 8 minutes left in this half. Slim Fast, the captain for Flint, is picking off skaters, working some offense, helping Dom Sawyer get through as lead jammer for Flint. A bit of a pile up on that first corner, and barrel roller also back on the track and jamming for the herd. Flint is working a bit of a cube up front that just keeps rotating, not letting barrel get through. Meanwhile, Dom Sawyer has picked up 4 points. Barrel roller being drawn back. That was a 2-minute jam, and that tough defensive Flint blocker cube has held the herd to 0 on that jam while picking up 16 points for themselves. Helen Wheels has picked up lead jam status for Flint Roller Derby. And we do have Helen Wheels headed to the penalty box. This is a power jam for the herd. Radio Smacktive is going to try to work with her blockers to make the most of this. Radio Smacktive gets through, picks up 4 points, and we see some Flint blockers headed to the box. Another Flint skidder being sent to the box. That is number 4, felony assault with a track cutting penalty. Radio Smacktive gets some well-timed offense there and slides past those final 2 Flint blockers that were on the track. The herd does pick up. The herd picks up more points than Flint Roller Derby on that jam. It looks like 12 points to 4, and we do have an official review. We have a fun-filled day tomorrow, packed full of derby. Starting at 10 a.m., we have Minnesota Nice versus Flint Roller Derby, so they're keeping an eye on what's happening on the track right now. 12 p.m. is the Herd versus North Star Roller Derby. Probably a little the same going on. North Star Roller Derby still in the house, watching some derby. 6 p.m. is Madison the Herd versus Minnesota Nice. And then that 8 p.m. game is going to be Madison Roller Derby against Minnesota Roller Derby. So that is derby from 10 a.m. all the way through till, I'm going to say, 9-ish, maybe 10 tomorrow. Sunday will be the final day of Derby here, starting at 10 a.m. with Flint Roller Derby versus Madison. And then there's a mixer game at noon. That's always exciting. The Herd is at 60 points currently. Flint with double that, plus 1. 121 points for Flint Roller Derby. And the Herd coming out fast and strong. Dilemma is your lead jammer. That review was challenging the blocking with the head call, and that call did stand. Dilemma is calling that jam off at the behest of the coaches. And Dilemma did pick up 3 points. However, Duncan was able to pick up 4. Hello to all the fans out there watching this bout streaming. You know who you are. Sad you couldn't be here with us today, but glad that you are cheering from home. Slim Fast putting up some tough defense in the front, but we do have Dark Horse through the pack as well as Animaniac. And Dark Horse is your lead jammer. Do have a forearm call. And 89.90, Frankie Fatale headed to the box. If you are watching from home but plan to come out in person, you can still get tickets by going to www.mnrollerderby.com. It is $25 for an all-day Saturday pass. Helen Wheels is once again lead jammer for Flint Roller Derby. And we have number 23, Tabby Cat, headed to the box. Whilst 89.90, Frankie Fatale is coming back on the track from Madison. Helen Wheels is your lead jammer, picking up points. Dark Horse has completed her time in the penalty box and is up against a back wall of Flint blockers, including their captain Slim Fast. That is our 10-minute intermission time. That first half has concluded with Flint, Michigan at 139 points and the Herd at 74. There is still time to enjoy nice cream, lactose-free ice cream with all the toppings and goodies, as well as a cold press float. If you're one of those folks who wants some caffeine at 8:30 at night, sounds yummy. All right, we are back into our game between Madison Roller Derby, the Herd, and Flint Roller Derby. Both teams have had some time to discuss strategy, what they want to do coming back out of the locker room. And we're seeing some really solid defense. Jammer's not even making it up to that first turn, getting drawn back. And Helen Wheels is through that front pack. Radio Smacktive is out as well, and Helen Wheels calls it off after picking up 4 points. So 4 points and calling it off. Dilemma does a nice, slow, agile work around that outside to get out for lead jammer status for the Herd. Dilemma pushing up front while the Herd draws Gigi Spitfire back. Both teams putting up points. Gigi Spitfire jumps that apex. Does land that successfully. Dilemma does call that jam off. Gigi Spitfire was able to pick up, I believe, 17 points on that jam. The Herd put 8 more points on the scoreboard, and this is an official review. We've got a dazzle of officials in the middle, officially discussing official things. For that official review, Madison was challenging a lack of skating out of bounds. We'll call stands. And we have Animaniac as the lead jammer on the track for Flint Roller Derby. And Dark Horse jamming for the herd. That jam has been called. With Animaniac picking up 3 points for Flint. Flint is now at 163 points. And the herd stands at 82. Barrel roller does push through, goes down, but gets back up again. And is being pointed at as the lead jammer. The herd is holding Helen Wheels back as barrel roller gets through, has one more to beat to pick up 4 points. Helen Wheels did a star stash and gets that star cover back on after that initial pass. Barrel roller picking up 5 points for the herd. A little celebration at the bench. Flint held to 0 on that jam. Gigi Spitfire just knocking down skaters at the front of the pack. Gigi is the lead jammer. There is a forearm call on a Flint blocker. That's 35. And that is Glitoris. I did want to say that again, so thank you, Glitoris, sitting in the box right now. Slim Fast also heading to the box. That's the captain for Flint Roller Derby. Very short pack happening. Radio Smacktive making the most of the lack of blockers for Flint. Does legally push by Dom Sawyer to pick up 4 points. Slim Fast was out of the box, heads back into the box. Gigi Spitfire did pick up 24 points during that jam. And the herd put 8 points up on the board. So we are at 11 points. Spoke too soon. 98 points for the herd currently to Flint's 187. Once again, Flint only has one blocker on the track, and Dilemma getting through to pick up points. That was a 4-4 jam. Flint roller derby calls a timeout. Helen Wheels running up through that herd defense. Got through cleanly to become lead jammer. And we have Dark Horse skating for the herd. With that jammer cover on. The herd starting with a short pack on this jam. GG Spitfire does make it through. And a little resistance on that next pass. We're seeing La March Madness jamming for Madison herd. Little apex hop there. GG gets through. Hustles down that straightaway. And La March Madness just slides by 99, getting low and getting past. I'll funk you up. Flint picked up 18 on that jam. The Herd picked up 8 points. Shelby Cobra trying to get a piece of Animaniac. Doesn't quite get over that line. Animaniac is the lead jammer for Flint Roller Derby. And Radio Smackdev currently caught amongst some powerful defense. Forearm penalty being called on Slim Fast. Slim Fast spent a little time in the box in this half. Radio Smackdev does get through. Flint has picked up some points, and the Herd is working to do the same. Both jammers being drawn back a bit as they've been knocked off the track and don't want to risk a penalty. Nice run on that inside line by Radio Smackdev. And that jam has been called. For 7 jam in favor of Flint. Flint is now at 220 points. And the Herd at 118. Helen Wheels just loving those inside lines. If you give an inch, she'll take it and run through. That was some great footwork on the part of Dilemma as well. Up those. And that jam has been called. Gigi Spitfire busting through the middle. We also have Dark Horse getting through that pack. Defense lining up on that curve. We all know that that curve has a wide spot there, a little harder to defend. Gigi does make it through. Dark Horse also through. Big opening in the middle. Gigi takes it. Does not slow down. Gigi does a little fake, tries to get to the outside, ends up with a penalty for her troubles. We do have a power jam. Power jam for Madison. Nice little turn, skate backwards to get out of there. Picking up 4 points. Dark Horse has put 12 points up on the scoreboard in this jam. And that is a cutting the track penalty. So we are now seeing a power jam in favor of Flint Roller Derby. Four blockers, but Gigi does push through the middle and picks up a forearm penalty. So right at this minute, we have 2 jammers sitting in the penalty box. 19 points for Flint in that jam, 15 for the herd. We're going to figure out who gets to get on the track to skate. This is a rare setup where we have 8 skaters on the track, 4 from each team, none of them jamming. So we started that jam without a jammer, being that both were in the penalty box. Little shenanigans by blockers, and Dark Horse has made it through cleanly. No penalties. Is the lead jammer. Madison working some offense to try to help Dark Horse get through, spreading out that pack. One to beat at the front, and no pass, no penalty on that. Hangs tight to that line, makes it through. And we're seeing a well-timed star stash for Animaniac. Animaniac has made her initial pass. Dark Horse has picked up 8 points. Yeah, takes that inside, picks up 4 more. Flint's been showing some really solid defense, that tripod or cube, and very agile jammers out there. Madison giving some special cheer there. Barrel roller out for lead jam status. Appears to be quite happy about that. And Holland Oates is coming for Flint. Has been pulled back. Tough defense by Madison as well. We do have 427 headed to the box. That is Shelby Cobra. That jam has been called. Barrel roller picked up 6 points. Six points for the herd, and they have held Flint to 0 on that jam. When you're up against teams you haven't maybe played before, you have to figure out their strategy, your strategy, accommodate, make some changes. See where their strengths and weaknesses are. We do have Radio Smacked of jamming for the herd. And Radio Smacked picks up 4 points and calls off that jam. They have held Flint to another 0 jam. Chipping away at a few points. The herd is at 157 And Flint is at 249. Dilemma making some small moves forward, trying to hold that space, but Tabby Cat gets through on the inside for Flint. Dilemma doing that fancy toe stop work again. But is being held at the front while Tabby Cat has picked up 4 points. Both jammers just hunkering down, trying to grind away, pushing forward at the middle of those packs and working to not get hit to the inside or the outside. Tabby Cat pushed up front far enough. Did make it through. Flint making it through for some more points there, and defense. Dilemma has picked up a penalty and is heading to the box. Thanks again to all of our volunteers, including our EMTs and medics, helping keep us safe out here, checking out skaters if there are injuries. Also, our production volunteers, trying to keep that track safe. Checking the tape, making sure everything looks good. We do have a timeout for Flint roller derby. This is their third team timeout. We have 6 minutes left of this game. And we see Duncan back on the line, jamming for Flint with Dilemma up for the Herd. Currently a power jam situation as Duncan was sent to the box at the end of that last jam. We now have Frankie Fatal taking a seat along with Slam Chowda. Dilemma up against that tough Flint defense, getting a little help from blocker friends from Madison. Madison also trying to keep an eye on Duncan, who's coming around hot on that outside. La March Madness has accepted that star pass. For the Herd and is out of the pack. (12-0) jam in favor of Flint roller derby. Bit of jostling scrum in that pack. We do have Dark Horse headed back to the box. Been there a couple of times this half. Animaniac is the lead jammer for Flint. Four points for Flint, 0 for the Herd. Flint is at 281 points. The Herd is at 160. Helen Wheels, we've seen this before, running up either the inside or the outside and popping through before that pivot line. Lamb Chowder gets a piece of Helen Wheels, bumps her to the outside. Full pack back out there for Madison. Slowing down Helen Wheels. Wolframmer came out of the box, committed another penalty, and is back in the box again. So one sitting in the penalty box for the Herd. We have an official timeout. Animaniac does make it out of the pack, but then gets recycled back in, does make it back out on that inside line now. Barrel roller back jamming for the herd. Being drawn back by Dom Sawyer. Flint working to pick up a few more points at the end of this matchup. Hi. Davey and I were happy first day. Yeah, well, it's so good to see you. Well, I was just watching. I was like, beef is beefy. I said to Barb, like, when you walk by, I'm like, and that is a huge compliment. So, yeah. Just living my best life. I love it. Final score, Flint Roller Derby, 297 points. Beats the herd at 160. Great games out there tonight. Thank you, skaters, officials, volunteers, fans, anybody watching at home. And we hope to see you back here tomorrow.